You know what's funny? The biggest moves wealthy people make don't even look like moves at all. No headlines, no fireworks, no get-rich-quick drama. Meanwhile, the average person is chasing the next hot stock, the next crypto coin, the next business trend. We scroll social media and see people bragging about doubling their money overnight. It feels like everybody else is sprinting, and you're standing still. But here's the truth the wealthy understand: those flashy sprints almost never last. And the quiet moves, the ones nobody's bragging about, those are the moves that actually build real, lasting wealth. Picture two people side by side, one bouncing from trend to trend, the other quietly, almost boringly, building positions in simple, steady assets. 10 years go by. Who's stressed and who's free? That's the power of what I call the silent patience play. It's not glamorous, it's not viral, but it's the one thing separating people who look rich today from the ones who stay rich tomorrow. And today, I'm going to break it down in a way you can actually use in your own life. Even if you're starting small, even if you feel like you're late to the game. By the end of this video, you'll know how to start playing the same quiet, powerful game the wealthy play. Before we dive in, if you've ever felt like your money never seems to stick around, or you've wondered why hard work still isn't getting you ahead, hit subscribe right now. This channel is where we break down the timeless wealth strategies that actually work, without the hype. Think of this as your blueprint to building lasting wealth, starting today. Let me ask you, have you ever seen a friend jump into a can't-miss investment? Maybe it was Dogecoin, meme stocks, flipping sneakers, an Airbnb side hustle that seemed like easy money. They brag at first, they post screenshots, they make you feel like you're behind, but check in 6 months later, and they've moved on. We've all been there. Drop a comment below. What's one thing you bought into because it felt hot, but it didn't work out? Share it, because your story might help someone else watching this. Now, while everyone is playing that game, the wealthy do something totally different. They don't chase hype. They pick simple, boring assets. Stuff like index funds, rental properties, or businesses with steady cash flow. And then here's the wild part. They don't touch it. They let it work. Think about Warren Buffett for a second. Everyone knows his name. He's the Oracle of Omaha. People quote his one-liners, read his shareholder letters, follow every move he makes. But here's the part that almost nobody really stops to process. 99% of his net worth came after his 50th birthday. Stop and let that sink in. He wasn't some overnight prodigy billionaire. He was already investing as a kid, already successful by any normal measure. Yet the real explosion of his wealth didn't come until decades later. Why? Because he stayed invested. He didn't just buy good businesses, he held them. He allowed time and compounding, not constant trading, to do the heavy lifting. It's the snowball effect he talks about so often. You start small, keep it rolling, and decades later it's a boulder. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The kinds of assets that actually build empires don't look exciting in the beginning. Dividend-paying stocks, bonds that quietly grow, rental properties collecting rent month after month. These are not the kinds of moves that light up social media. They look slow, too slow. In fact, when you're in the middle of it, it almost feels like nothing is happening. But that's the patience play. It's like planting a tree. At first you're just digging in the dirt. For years you water it, protect it, and wait. Nothing looks impressive. Your friends might even laugh. That's it? That's your big plan. But one day, almost without noticing, you're sitting under the shade of a tree everyone else wishes they planted. That's what compounding and patience really look like in practice. It's quiet, it's steady, and then, all at once, it's powerful. Here's the part people underestimate. The hardest thing in wealth building isn't buying, it's waiting. We live in a culture of instant results, TikTok swipes, fast food, same-day delivery. When your money doesn't grow overnight, most people get restless. They sell too soon. They jump to something else. But the wealthy, they've mastered the art of strategic boredom. They buy the right assets, then they sit. While the world is panicking at headlines, they're calm. They're letting time do the compounding. Quick story. I knew a guy who bought Apple stock in the early 2000s, right after the iPod came out. It wasn't flashy, It was still risky, but he held. For years he didn't sell. Guess what? That one boring decision turned into a fortune, not because he was smarter than everyone else, but because he stayed patient. Ask yourself, what's one investment or decision you wish you'd held on to longer? Drop it in the comments. Someone else will relate. Let's be real. Most people can't play this game because patience feels like doing nothing. And when we feel like we're not doing anything, we feel like we're losing. That's why most people would rather gamble. It feels exciting. It gives the illusion of control. But gambling on trends rarely builds wealth. It just builds stress. Imagine two friends. One is constantly buying and selling, chasing headlines. The other invests steadily, leaves it alone. Check back in 10 years. Who's calmer? Who's richer? If you've ever felt behind because you weren't chasing hype, remember you're not behind. You're actually setting yourself up for the win. Let's bring this home. We've talked about how the wealthy build quietly. We've looked at Buffett, at compounding, at the power of doing nothing. But none of that matters if it just stays an idea in your head. The patience play only works when you start playing it. So, how do you actually do it in your own life? Starting today, here are 3 simple but powerful moves. 1. Pick simple assets. Forget the complicated strategies and insider tips. You don't need a Wall Street degree to get this right. The wealthy aren't sitting in front of 10 monitors trading penny stocks. They're buying index funds that track the whole market, stocks that pay dividends every quarter, or rental properties that generate steady cash flow. Pick one lane that feels simple and proven. Simplicity beats sophistication when you're playing the long game. 2. Set it and forget it. Once you've picked your asset, automate it. Schedule your contributions the same way you schedule your bills. Stop doom scrolling the stock app. You don't check the oven every second. When you're baking bread, you set the temperature, let it rise and trust the process. Your investments work the same way. 3. Measure in decades, not months. Every time you're tempted to peek at your account, ask yourself, what will this be worth in 10 years? Not what's it doing this week. That one shift alone will calm your nerves and keep you from sabotaging yourself. Wealth grows like a tree, not like a firecracker. Now here's your action step. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Find one asset you can commit to holding for at least the next 10 years. Just one. Write it down. Make it real. Drop it in the comments below. What's the asset you're committing to? Could be an index fund, a piece of real estate, maybe even your own business. When you put it in writing, you're already a step ahead of 90% of people who just keep watching videos but never act. This is the moment where the patience play stops being a concept and starts being your reality. 10 years from now, you'll look back at today as the day you planted your tree. You know what's ironic? The less you do with your money, the more powerful it grows. The patience play is quiet. No flashy wins, no bragging rights today. But 10 years from now, that's when everyone else asks, how did you pull it off? And you'll smile because the truth is simple. You didn't. You let time and patience do the work. It's like the gym. You don't see results after one workout. But stay consistent, and months later you look back shocked. Wealth is the same. So here's the big takeaway. The wealthy win because they're willing to wait while everyone else rushes. Patience compounds into power. Now if this clicked for you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next wealth strategy we break down. But more importantly, don't just watch this video, take action. Pick that one asset. Commit to it. Let the patience play work for you. Because at the end of the day, flashy fades, but patience builds empires.